Celebrate the miracle of existence, the breath within me, the beating of my heart, the love that blesses my life. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. And as I said, we're going to come back to the Psalms a little bit later. We can turn now to page 22 for L'Chadodi as we welcome in the Bride of Shabbat. You'll notice our special book only contains the verses that we sing. So at that last verse, you're welcome to rise as we face our doors to bring in Shabbat. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet ve'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki makor haberacha, merosh mikadem nasucha, sof maaseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, ki va'orech umiori, uri shir daberi, kevod Adonai alaich nikla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat Shabbat kala, Peni Shabbat nekabela. We remain standing for Chatzi Kaddish on page 14. Yitkada v'yitkada shemei rabba, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uv'izman kariv, ve'imeru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'olam olam elmaya, yitbarach, yitbarach ve'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitroma ve'yitnaseh, ve'yitadar ve'yitale ve'yitalal, shemei dekudsha brichu, Laela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran me'alma, ve'imeru amen. Will you seek afar off? You surely come back at last. In things best known to you, finding the best or as good as the best. Happiness, knowledge, not in another place, but this place, not for another hour, but this hour. Join on page 26 for our call to prayer. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam va'ed. And let's join together in our blessing for creation, the moving of light into dark, bottom of page 29. Holy is twilight, the realm of in-between, and so our sages taught, pray in the moments when light and darkness touch. We are all twilight people, beyond categories and labels. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, widen our vision. Let it illumine our way to the God who transcends all boundaries and definitions. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. We can continue on page 30 in the English. Love beyond all space and time. Your love enfolds your people, Yisrael. We receive in it your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up, and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Continue with those words from Torah on page 34. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha V'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. I would invite you to read responsively with me in the English on page 35, a special Ve'ahavta translation for the month of Elul. You shall love the ones who are close with all your heart, with all your spirit, with all your strength. See the good within them even when they can't. Look at them and listen even when it's hard. Be grateful for their guidance, even their reproof, when they save you from yourself.
Love them when they give you joy, and love them when they don't. When you lie down, let go of anger. When you rise up at dawn, begin again.
Praise them for their deeds at home. Speak to them in public with respect.
Blind yourself to the ones you love, with promises kept and vows fulfilled.
Open to them the gates of your heart, the doorway of your soul, and let them know you. So shall the ones you cherish feel your love, your presence, your care. I'm going to continue with our Song of the Sea on page 40. And the Midrash says that the Israelites sang out this song with their voices, with instruments, with the heartbeat within them. And, well, it's the first time I'm attempting to play this melody, so we're just going to keep singing no matter what happens. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha letar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osefele, Nora tehilot osefele. Malachutecha uvanecha, bokeya yom lifnei Moshe Miriam. Ze Elianu ve'amru, Ze Elianu ve'ameru. Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai imloch ya la 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 la, ya la ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. And we can continue on page 42. Our prayer for a peaceful evening as we pray that we may lie down in peace and rise up with new life. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ushmor tzedkenu uvoenu lechaim ushalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Blessed One, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem. Join in our prayer for Shabbat on page 46. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי nefesh. Turn now to page 48 for our tefillah, our central prayer. If you're able, please rise. In the words of Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, unless we aspire to the utmost, we shrink to inferiority. Prayer is our attachment to the utmost. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalalai, lai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu הגibor והנורא אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע מוריד הטל מחכה חיים בחסד מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בגבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Blessed are you, the unending source of holiness. I invite you to continue silently with the words on the pages or to take a moment to offer the prayers from your heart, and feel free to be seated. We'll come, when you're ready, we'll come back together for the prayer for peace. Page 70. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu Shalom, ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levad bechol eit uvechosha vishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. We'll turn now to page 77 as we add our prayer for health and healing, Misha Berach. Take this moment to pray for loved ones who are ill at this time. We are especially thinking of Colin Monroe, Enrico Mascaro, Annette Zerachian, Benjamin Horowitz, Bradley Dichter, Matteo Goldman, Esya Rushovskaya, Eileen Arnone, Jean Sands, Tom Fiorino, Jerry Spingarn, Beth Gottlieb, Joseph Sands, Ethel Sheranow, Rhea Rebecca, Ida Kublin, Peter Lawrence, Sarah Batavid Yosefia, Herb Kupferschmidt, Linda Asher, Alan Aflito, Rosalind Slifka, Yonatan, son of Anna, Peggy Monroe, Bonnie Shulkin, Vered Bat Aviva, Leonardo, son of Simone, Tamar Aharon, Leah Tova, daughter of Tzipora, Patience, daughter of Julia. If there are other names you were thinking of, you may share them with us. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Laimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. I want to invite you to turn back now to page 8 in the earlier part of our prayer book. As I mentioned earlier in the service, Psalm 27 is traditionally recited throughout the month of Elul, and you might actually be more familiar with the Hebrew words because we tend to sing them, which we're going to do in just a few moments. But I actually thought for tonight we would take a moment and read the entire psalm out loud in English, with the question in mind of why this psalm for the month of Elul. And I will just give you a little hint. Nowhere, so the Psalms, of course, come from the Bible, the third part of the Bible, the section called Writings. Nowhere in the Bible or in the book of Psalms itself does it say, read this psalm on the month of Elul. Nowhere in the Talmud, where we get most of our Jewish practices from, does it say to recite this psalm? We only started reciting this psalm in the late 1600s, early 1700s, which, if you know your Jewish history, was kind of the rise of Kabbalah. So this was a mystical tradition, a Kabbalistic tradition, to recite this psalm on the month of Elul, and since that time, we Jews have done it ever since. It also parallels the blowing of the shofar, which we do daily during the month of Elul. So for Jews who attend daily services, you would hear the shofar every day. In fact, you would not hear it on Shabbat because it's technically playing an instrument, but here in most Reform synagogues, we take advantage of the Spirit, and with this psalm, we also blow the shofar. So with that in mind, why do these words fit the blowing of the shofar? Why do these words, in a Kabbalistic or mystical sense, why would they have been chosen for this month leading up to Rosh Hashanah, or New Year? So I'm going to ask for any answers in a moment, but let's actually take some time. I want to invite you to just read along with me. I'm going to stay in the microphone just so if anyone on live stream can also hear, and kind of starts on page 8 and then goes to page 9. Here we go. God is my light and my refuge secure. Whom shall I fear? God is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When those who act with malice, who devour me with words, it is they who stumble, they who fall. If an army were to take up arms against me, my heart would not fear. If war were waged against me, still I would trust. Just one thing I have asked of God, only this do I seek, to dwell in God's house all the days of my life, to behold divine sweetness and beauty, and to gaze in delight at God's temple. God shelters me in times of hardship, shields me in a tent of divine protection, raises me high upon a rock, so that now my head rises above the enemies around me. Let me make offerings in that tent, the offerings of a joyful cry. Let me sing hymns and celebrate the one who is eternal, Adonai. Hear my voice when I call. God, answer me with grace. My heart spoke for you. It said, seek my face. Your face, Adonai, I will seek. Do not hide your face from me, nor angrily turn away your faithful one, the one you have sustained. My God of rescue, do not desert me. When my father and mother have gone, God will gather me in. Teach me your way, Adonai, and guide me on a straight path. Because of those who lie in wait for me, do not hand me over to the will of foes who rose against me. Lying witnesses and those whose every breath is violence. If only I could believe that I will see God's goodness in the land of the living. Wait for Adonai, be strong of heart and be bold, but wait for Adonai. All right, the floor is open. What does this psalm have to do with the month of Elul, with this month of preparation for our new year? By the way, this is one of these questions that there isn't really like one right answer. So. Any thoughts? You can take a guess. Okay, so Zelena, time of year when we would typically bring offerings to temple, and of course those offerings became prayers over time. All right, so we have a mention here of coming to temple, sharing the offerings of our heart, our words of prayer. Good. Yes, and remind me of your name, Steve Brody's daughter, Jen. Here are your Steve Brody's daughters. I'm just repeating in the microphone so those at home can hear. Great. So not giving up when things get really hard, to not stop believing. So yes, this is a recognition that this time of the year is actually the hardest time of the year. Because remember, if we do the hard work now, right, if we really face ourselves and face God and struggle with ourselves and struggle with God, then guess what? We get to celebrate Rosh Hashanah. We get to celebrate the new year with joy and gladness. So yes, this is a recognition that this time is hard, that it takes hard work to get ourselves to the new year. See, you're already on a roll. This is great. Any other thoughts? Any other themes you notice here that might relate to the new year? Yes, Hannah. Great. So we see forgiveness and faith, the big themes, right, of the new year. Great. Any other thoughts? Great. So when you've gone through that process of the hard work, you see or feel the reward of God or Adonai, and so you saw some language of reward in here, right? Yeah. So you can see the psalm builds, right? It starts with an image of light and hope. We then get into all of these struggles. Of course, in biblical times, there are lots of physical military battles going on. So there may have actually been enemies, surrounding the author of the Psalms, but we can also read that metaphorically of whatever we might be struggling with. And then you can see the psalm ends at the end, reaffirming goodness, hope, and life itself, right? This image of dwelling in God's holiness in the land of the living, right? So affirming our lives. And we know, right, Rosh Hashanah, we have that whole prayer where our lives hang in the balance of life and death. So this is affirming our life for the next year. Good. Any other thoughts? Yes, Will. Okay, good. So this is a recognition. We're not there yet, right? We've still got a couple more weeks to go till the new year, and it's a little bit of waiting. It's, again, a little bit of that life in the balance. Right, so the question is, what are we waiting for? What are we doing during this time? How can we affirm that sense of hope and life and faith? So, by the way, you got all of it. So anything else that I might have missed? So this is everything I was thinking of. I will just highlight one other image here, which actually we did not comment on yet, but in that kind of long paragraph on page 9, the image of seeking God's face, right? Where we're seeking, God wants us to see God's face, and then we're saying, do not hide your face from me. Right, so again, getting to Rosh Hashanah, this is a two-way street here, right? God's waiting for us, but we need to find God. We need to seek God, and hopefully in that process find ourselves as well. Well, want to invite us to sing those words in the Hebrew on the right. We sang the words last week as well. And so I'm going to keep it the same melody that we did last week. But I will give you a highlight that next week, Julia Sabra, our cantora soloist, is going to teach us a new melody for Achat Sha'alti that has some English in it as well. But now that we've read it, you know what the English means. So. Wait, that's not right. Hang on one second. I'm reading Rabbi Micah's music. He said keep with 3. Yes, we're here. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh. Repeat that. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh. Shivti bevet Adonai kol yemei Well, before we conclude, I'm going to leave you with my bonus favorite Elul poem. Some of you might recognize it because I've read it every year. It is entitled, "There's a Hole in My Sidewalk," an autobiography in 5 short chapters. And this is my all-time favorite Elul poem, and written by Portia Nelson, singer, songwriter, author. And just a reminder again about not hiding ourselves, keeping our eyes open, and keeping hope that we can change. Here we go. Chapter 1. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am helpless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. Chapter 4. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5. I walk down another street. As we are in this month of Elul, I would invite you to look in your weekly shofar email. Our High Holy Day website will be live next week. Your tickets are in the mail as I speak. You should receive them in your mailbox. Tickets are for security purposes. We haven't had them in a couple years with the pandemic, but it's really just to help us identify that you should be here. And you'll see a letter that comes along with it with some explanation, and check your email this week for a lot more information. The schedule was sent out this past week, so we are in the midst of this season of preparing. Shabbat, of course, is still upon us, so you can celebrate tomorrow morning with our Leilad Minyan at 9 a.m. in the library. And again, next Shabbat, we are continuing with the 6 o'clock service in the hope that we might have one more outdoor service. We shall see. But next week is the last 6 o'clock outdoors, and then we're kind of back into our indoor routine along with a bat mitzvah the following week. So Cantor soloist Julia Saber will be here with me next Friday, continuing in our Elul prayer book. So again, read your shofar for other adult learning coming up as well. The start of Shorashim. Lots to come. I do want to thank Steve Brody and Bonnie Wellens for greeting and ushering us in this evening with the early service. There's no oneg. Hopefully you're going home to have dinner, but we will bless challah in wine in just a moment. Thank you, Tim, as always, on live stream. We're going to turn now to page 78 for Aleinu L'Shabeach, and if you're able, we rise at this time. Aleinu L'Shabeach Ladon HaKol, La Tekedula Liotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kigoye Ha'aratzot, Velo Samanu Kimishpachot Ha'adama, Shelo Samchelkenu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, Vanachnu Korim, Umishtachavim umodim Livnei Melech Machei Hamlachim Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. I'm determined to have our lights in the ark fixed by Rosh Hashanah. Our thoughts turn at this moment to loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days and those who died at this season in years past. Our hearts are open as well to the wider circles of loss in our community and wherever grief touches the human family. We are especially remembering these loved ones who have passed away in recent weeks for the period of Shloshim of 30 days. We're especially remembering Francis Perna, brother of Mike Perna and brother-in-law of Marcia Perna, who passed away this week. We are also remembering Dr. Michael Pastor, the son of Alan Pastor and Lois Beanstalk, who passed away 3 weeks ago. And I will just mention we'll begin the period of Shloshim for Mark Bernstein, the son of Mel and Carol Bernstein, next Shabbat, as the funeral will be on Tuesday of next week here at Beth David at 10 o'clock a.m. We are especially remembering these loved ones whose yahrzeit, whose anniversary of death occurred this week: Marie Crichton, Ralph Dichter, Riva Grassfield, Ruth Kaufman, Gilda B. Kramer, Molly Morris, Sally Rosenberg, Harry Snyder, Leon Tanofsky, Leon Weinberger. If there are other names that other loved ones you are remembering, you may share them with us. We join in Mourner's Kaddish on page 86. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael b'gala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam ulamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. We'll move now into Kiddush and Motzi on page 12. And Jake, I feel like singing tonight? I'll do it with you. All right. This is good. I know it's been a little while, since Bar Mitzvah, but you were just confirmed this year. So.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamochid shanu b'mitzvotav v'ratav anu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit Ki hu yom tehi למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
L'chaim. All right. We'll join in Motzi, but we'll bring the challah out for everyone. Although if you want to grab a piece, Jacob, you can. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Shabbat Shalom. You can take a piece on behalf of all of us if you like. We'll bring it outside. All right. I'm also not a shofar blower, but here we go. You're going to all give me a tekiah, nice and loud, and we're going to wake up to Elul. Remember, it's not a tekiah gedolah, it's a regular tekiah. You got to wait for Rosh Hashanah for that. We are going to conclude with words of peace. Oseh Shalom. You are welcome to keep standing. I can't play guitar standing, so. May the one who makes peace above bring peace here amongst all of us. Oseh Shalom bimromav, uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu. Israel, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Shabbat Shalom. Someone would like to take the challah out. You can grab a piece. Shabbat Shalom. All right.